Hello, crafty friends. This is the Papered Chef here. In today's video, I'm going to share 22 projects I created using this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, Sweet Sunflowers. These ideas should inspire you to open up your own kit and create more than just the cards that are in the example, and how to create some 3D projects. And I hope it also inspires you to sign up or subscribe to get this crafty surprise each month. When I say surprise, that means that you wouldn't be getting this kit if you signed up. You'll be getting next month's kit. You have until the 10th of the month to sign up each month. I dedicate this video to Linda V, my newest Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Thank you very much, Linda. Excuse my coughing. One of my team members is like, okay, don't eat so much candy, try some water. So I'm going to try some water. I thought the candy was helping me. Maybe not. All right, so what I want to do first is just, and later on I'll open up a whole kit. I'm looking all over for it because I have it. I actually subscribe to 2 kits a month. Kind of fear of missing out because like they ran out of this one right away and you can no longer get it. And now I'm looking for it so I can open it for you. I'm going to open it to show you what the full contents look like of one kit. Okay, I do have it. I did find it. Okay, so later on in this video, if you want to see what the contents of a kit look like, I will show you that. And then the link to subscribe is in the description of this video. And my subscribers, you have to be in the US to subscribe with me. We also offer this program in Canada. If you have a demonstrator there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is that right out of the box, you can make beautiful cards just with the things that come with the kit. Now, this kit was special because not only did we get 2 free Stampin' spots, that's the ink, right? And I'll go over the coordinating colors. We got 2 of these little ink spots. We also got 6, maybe 8, oh, now I forget, of these honeycomb, these things that I cut apart, like these honeycomb. Maybe I have a little piece. Oh, yes, I did save a piece because we're going to do some coloring with it. Let me find the little piece I saved. I probably have a whole one somewhere, too. Here we go. We're going to be doing some coloring with it. But we had this was our free gift because every time it's an anniversary of Stampin' Up, we've had this program for several years. I don't know if it's because it's an anniversary. They just told us they were giving us a free gift. I can't remember why they gave us a free gift, but we don't complain when we get extra free stuff in our Paper Pumpkin kits. And that's what the little ink spots look like, but I'm going to show you that I used the bigger ones. So we had a crushed curry and a soft suede. All right, coordinating colors, and then I'll go over the cards. All right, there's loads of coordinating colors with this month's kit. They included Blackberry Bliss, Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pumpkin Pie, and Soft Suede. So with that in mind, I pulled out my different ink colors and and pulled out my cardstock, and I wanted to make sure that I, use coordinating colors in these projects. If you missed my Stampin' Up video on this Paper Pumpkin Kit, I did a stamping stamparatus. I did a brothered ScanNCut video where I used a stamparatus, and I showed you how to make multiples of this using your ScanNCut, so you wouldn't just be limited to the sunflowers there. If you missed that, we did loads. I have a whole bag of crafty goodness here. I showed you how to stamp the sunflower, how to scan it in with your ScanNCut, how to then make not this, but how to make blank ones. Multiple, with loads of these. Loads of these sunflowers, okay? So if you missed that video, check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. Then I showed you how to use the stamparatus. Then I showed you how to color the sunflowers. And now we have arrived at how I have all these sunflowers for all these projects I'm about to share with you. So a little bit about that video is just, I showed you how to then put it on your stamparatus and make multiples of it. Super easy trick. All right, so that's what I did to get these sunflowers, is I just did that trick and then I colored like I explained how to color. And I used the free gift. And these first 3 cards I'm going to show you now are just cards you make straight out of the kit. Nothing extra. I didn't do anything extra. No fancy schmancy stuff, except I did do the coloring with my blends a little bit and just use my stamparatus. But other than that, this is it. This card comes just like this. Look at this. And it brings me to my point. I couldn't stand to just leave these cards the way they are and not cut them up. So I'm going to show you how I cut them up. I said, oh, that's the back of the card. We don't need to decorate the back of the card. I'm going to cut these up and get 2 cards out of one. Look how gorgeous this background is. These little leaves. I just started cutting them up and making extra cards out of the kit. These envelopes are gorgeous, but I couldn't stand to just not use the envelopes for cards. So while I saved a few envelopes for the 3 cards I'm sharing, and then I think one that I'm going to be coloring with you a little bit, I just said I can't believe how gorgeous these envelopes are. And the thought of them getting all messed up in the U.S. mail system, I said, oh, I'm just going to make some of these into cards, right? Because I tend to put my cards into bags, then I put my bags into other envelopes. And so I just thought this envelope be so pretty preserved. And then, so that one is thank you card, and then this one's right out of the box. See, look at the back of that. I mean, it's gorgeous. This kit it was so popular that it sold out really quickly. Now, typically, we can get refills. When you're a Paper Bucket subscriber, one of the benefits is you get refills, but this one sold out before we even got to the refill stage. Okay, so that's the back of the card, that's the front, and it's just all these sentiments are stamped in soft suede for a one-of-a-kind friend. And then this one is just another piece of that honeycomb behind there. They gave us little extra bees. I put some extra bling on there. And this one is just this really cool Mossy Meadow background. And I thought, Mossy Meadow, that would be really cool, right? Why cover it up and everything? I said, let me just use that for some backgrounds. And, you know, I cut this apart as well. So those are the 3 card bases. Those are what you make straight out of the kit without doing anything extra. So if you get your kit, you'll get 9 gorgeous cards just like this with 9 matching envelopes. And you're still sparking your creativity because you could just change it up in different ways. Every time I get a kit, it sparks my creativity. I mean, just doing what's in the kit. So one of the things I talk about with creativity and getting your crafty mojo on is just having different supplies and having coordinating supplies. So when you open up this kit, just by cutting it up, just by putting it together, it brings on this whole state of creativity that you're just going to get like in such a good mood. And then you're making things for others, which is always nice as well. All right, let's move along and then kind of show you how to step up these cards a bit. So these cards are pretty lightweight because Stampin' Up, when we make these paper pumpkin kits, they're a bit lightweight. They're not as heavy as our Stampin' Up cardstock, nor are they layered as much. So what I like to do is I like to then take out all the different colors of coordinating cardstock. Okay, so comparing, these are from the kit, and then these are Stampin' Up cardstock. So you can see the backs of these. Everything I'm going to show you now, right? All of these are just the coordinating colors of cardstock I pulled out. I cut all my card bases first. I do everything in assembly line format. That's how I get so much done. I folded all my card bases. I have loads of extra card bases because I wasn't sure if I was going to need vertical or horizontal ones. So look how many extras I made. This one I'm going to make with you. I made the inside already too, just to save time. So I made loads of extra card bases if I needed them, and I ended up not using the pumpkin pie that much, probably because I was all pumpkin pied out from my fall projects course on the ScanNCut. I used so much of the color pumpkin pie, I was like, I think I just wanted to use different colors. I especially got excited about the Blackberry Bliss and how these flowers here just kind of pulled out the color of the cardstock, and I was really excited about that. So that's what you could do. These are all going to be kind of following that same thing. You're just taking Stampin' Up cardstock, layering up a piece on the inside. You could stamp the inside if you want, right? If you want, but you don't need to. This is just popped up with dimensionals, these, and then you'll see me using different kinds of bling on my cards. Always using some kind of embellishment. So these are the little embellishments that came in the kit, and then sometimes I use extra embellishments. Like, for example, what we have on clearance. So I'm not sure if it's still on clearance. But this, I bought this on clearance recently, and I was like, oh, well, that will work. It's called Mossy Meadow Braided, let's see, braided linen trim, okay? And you just sort of separate the trim like that, and you put it behind your little sentiments, and it really makes them pop. So I did it for this card, I did it for this little box, and it's just a coordinating color, so it works out well. And then I took some retired bee trinkets. You know what? I'm not even sure if they're retired. They might not be. But I'm sure you guys will be commenting if I get any mistakes made, because I know there's a lot of you already watching. So these little trinkets from Stampin' Up, I just thought they went so well with this. So I put a couple glue dots behind them, and you're going to see me using these bees all over the place in addition to the bees that came in the kit, which were these little paper bees, which I can't really tell it's a bee as much. I really like this kind of bee better. Like you can really tell it's a bee. But they're all cute. And there's also a bee stamp. And here's the bee stamp. And I stamped it on my little candies and things. All right. So anyway, moving along. Opal rounds. Night of Navy cardstock. Okay. More sunflowers. So that's how I roll. I just sort of make one card at a time. I pick it up. I cut all the parts. I cut all the pieces of cards apart. Having pieces like this, I emboss some. I didn't emboss some. I then cut all my little insides, glued them inside, and I just started making cards. And that's just all there is to it. You just start making cards. The way to learn to make cards is by making cards, not by just watching people make cards, and by making cards and sharing your cards. That's how you get better at making cards. And so each time you just say, okay, each one you just think of it as a little work of art. So with that, I'm going to stop and show you this technique here real quickly, using this little piece of card that I saved. Okay, so we'll just put this together real quick. We don't have to put it all together, but just to show you how easy it is to use that little piece of stencil that came in your kit. So I like to use a little rubber silicone mat. Maybe I should use one of my placemats. Or, I don't know, not really called placemats, but grid papers. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there in case I go crazy on my table. So we have a little piece of silicone, and I'm going to get my coordinating colors out. I'm just going to get one of these blending brushes. We'll use some crushed cherry. And we're going to get a stamping block and put some ink on the stamping block. Okay, so it's crushed cherry. I'm just putting some ink on the stamping block to control how much ink goes on my blending brush. Then you rub your blending brush into the stamping block. Tap right here to get the first blob off. And then you're going to put your little card down there. And you're going to take your piece of stencil. It's really cool. This is a really cool stencil. Well, you can use it as a stencil before you start using the gold elements. And then you're just going to go like that. Tap, tap, tap into your stamping block and give it a roll over your card. And you have that pretty honeycomb pattern. And if you're not sure, like if you can't hold it still, then just tape it down with painter's tape. Isn't that cool? It's a nice, cool effect. And there's other ways to make the beehives in addition to that. So that was just one thing I did to a bunch of my cards. So that's how I did the technique. Okay, let's do it to the white piece of paper. I think it would be fun to do it on the insides of all your cards if you want. I mean, it's all up to you how you decorate, but you don't need to decorate the envelopes. They're already pretty decorated. But here's something nice to do the inside of your card on the corners. Okay, really nice. Flip it around. Well, because I'm right-handed, I think it's easier just flip it around and do it that way. Tap, tap, tap into my crushed cherry. Roll onto there. Tap a blob off. And do it again. All right, so that's how you do it. And a little bit of technique. And I'm just going to rub that one in a little bit, because it got a little bit smeared. Okay, so there you go. So that's the idea. Now, gonna move this away and keep on showing you. And later I'll show you these colors for a moment when I explain something else. Okay, so good thing I did protect my table a little, because I have that mat. So we have that technique. And then you would put this on the card, any color coordinating color of card. So this would be a Night of Navy card. And then you put that other piece on the inside. And that is how to make a professional card. Professional cards are layered. So layer it. Don't leave the inside blank. Don't leave the outside without a layer. And then just from then on, just start putting layers on your card. When I ran out of the sentiments that came with it, I just started using my punches. This is this really cool punch in the holiday catalog. I just started using that to make extra sentiments. You can use your dies to make extra sentiments. You can use your little stitch frame. So you could just, and then you got the little honeycomb thing to put behind it. This thing to put behind it as embellishments. After you use it as a stencil, then cut it apart and use it for your embellishments. All right, so that's how I got the effect for this card. And I used some opal rounds. These are called the In Color opal rounds. Some little bees, the bee trinkets and these bees, and crushed cherry cardstock. Okay, keeping on with this whole theme. Another one like that. This time, you need to make sure for this kind of card that you don't cut, when you cut this out, don't cut into the side like I did a couple times. I'm like, oops, because then I wasn't able to use it as the inside of as a card frame. But for this one, I made sure that I cut all the pieces out of the inside without messing up the outside of the frame. Then I trimmed it down 1/4 inch. This piece of card from the envelope, or piece of the envelope, and I made a card into it. And then if you could see, when I put it into the light, the Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella was a touch that I added to loads of my sunflowers. That's a glitter pen, and you just, rub on it with the little brush. Looks like this. Okay, so we have Wink of Stella. I go through this like it's water. I use it on everything. Okay, oh, In Color opal rounds. That's what they look like. Oops. In Color opal rounds. Okay, so now, oh, wait, where was I going? Okay, here we go. Here's another one. This is Blackberry Bliss. Oh, what color? Sorry, I have to tell you the colors. Mossy Meadow cardstock. The Mossy Meadow is the same color from this braided linen trim. All right, moving along, we have Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And that same technique of using that as a stencil. And then these little vellums, I colored these little pieces of vellum. They had little vellum honeycombs. So whenever I didn't use the gold honeycomb, I used the little vellum honeycomb, and I colored that again with the blending brush for some contrast. Okay, now, this is the one I want to show you. This is a new technique. So I'm not going to do this whole technique for you, but I just want to give you the concept of it. So what I do when I get my paper pumpkin kits is I just go, okay, let me grab out all the ink. So I grabbed out all the ink, and these were all the coordinating colors. And I was like, well, how are these going to go together? This is some kind of motley crew of colors. I thought this was a motley crew. And we have Evening Evergreen, Soft Suede. I'm going to do those first. Mossy Meadow. Okay, so these are the colors that are in this kit. Mossy Meadow, Evening Evergreen, Soft Suede, Blackberry Bliss, and then Night of Navy. So I said, okay, well, these are the darkest 5 colors, Night of Navy. So I took those 5 colors, and I took this leaf from the stamp set, because we always get a unique, one-of-a-kind stamp set that comes in our kits. So like the sunflower's already mounted on my Stamparatus because I'm working with it still. I'm not finished stamping it. I took this leaf and I just did this. I did background. If you've seen my YouTube channel for a while, you know that I do this all the time, this technique. It is making my own card backgrounds. So to make this background, I would have a bigger piece to show you. I took an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and I just started stamping the leaves in all different colors, the 5 darkest colors, using that leaf. And then I took the filler, the next smaller, I did the darkest color first, or the lightest color, I think. So then I went to the darker color, wiping the stamp off a little between. And then what I did is I took this stamp, which is like a little sprig. I'll call that a little sprig. I could have also used that one, would have been cool. And I just started taking all the light colors that went along with this, and the crushed cherry, the melon mambo, and the pumpkin pie. And I stamped and I off-stamped. Stamping off means you stamp on once, and then you get the lighter shade by stamping again. And that's how I got the card backgrounds. Then I just cut them up, made them the size of a card background, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And I just then turned them into these 2 cards, and I could have gone on and on and on, making more and more of those. So very easy, because when you run out of your supplies for your paper pumpkin kit, you can stamp all the live long day, right? Because you always have that stamp set, so you can make more and more of everything. This uses very little supplies from the kit, except for the stamp, of course, for the sunflower. Now this I used the brushed metallic gold cardstock, or brushed distressed gold, I think it's called. It's in the Texture Chic suite. So behind my sunflowers, I put this with this new little circle punch, and I just love the circle punch because it went behind there for contrast. So it contrasts on there really nicely behind the flower. And it also goes along with the gold from the gold honeycomb And I just love that distressed gold cardstock. You have that in your texture sheet kits, those of you that are in my workshop. And this is a Night of Navy card. And then, oh, this piece here is from the, what would it be from? Maybe the envelope? Let's see what that could be from. Yeah, I think it's a little piece of the envelope. Yeah, it looks like a little piece of the envelope that, because I could see the score line still on it. So it's probably a little piece of the envelope that I used as a scrap behind the flower. And then I don't know what these sequins came from. There's something in the holiday catalog because I have loads of them. And I've been using, like, there's 4 colors that came in. I forget what the sequins are called, but I bling on everything. And one of my team members, Danita, we have a tech challenge every month in my group. And my team, Paper Chefs, and she just did a really cool video on how she organizes her embellishments. And I'm like, we're now inspired. I said, I need to organize my embellishments because mine are just like they're just all over the place. But I love how she puts them in these like special bags and writes the colors that, like, she writes what colors coordinate with them, because, you know, it does say in color opal rounds, but then she'll put evening evergreen, soft succulent, right? She'll write the names of the colors right on the embellishment so that it knows what it coordinates with. But anyway, this one, I just took away the honeycomb pieces and did that. All right, so now I want to now get into this little group of cards. This little group of cards they're all the same technique, but 3 different colors. This is the same exact card design, same exact card background. I'm going to flip them around so you can see how different they look based on the coordinating colors. So this is Melon Mambo, Pumpkin Pie, and Evening Evergreen. These little pieces came in the card design like this. They came in the kit. So they're just made, so you have an instant card. You just put it on a card and you have an instant gorgeous card that looks like $1 million card. I mean, right? It has like all this gorgeous dimension to it. Between the colors, between the layout, and I'm pulling in the color of the Melon Mambo. I'm pulling in the color of the Pumpkin Pie. Pulling in the color of the Evening Evergreen. So this one, I just took that little circle punch and punched out little pieces of Mossy Meadow, and I embellished the cards. So I took the pieces from this card background, and I just embellished them. Or not embellished them, embossed them. And I want to show you that technique as well. Okay, and then this one, oh yeah, and this one, when I ran out of these little sentiments that came in the kit, I just started using my stitched shaped dies. And an extra little piece of gold honeycomb and some extra bling. And this one is the brushed brass butterflies. They went really well with the gold. And then this one was a little piece of, again, embossed Mossy Meadow with some little gold sequins. So they all came out different. I really like how those came out. I'm really happy with those. And I definitely want to show you some embossing techniques in just a moment after I show you some more cards. All right, so we'll show you the brick cards, and then we'll show you some embossing because I have something that goes with that. So now, moving along, sometimes it's fun to put 2 sunflowers on a card, especially when you stamp something and maybe the ink messes up on some. So, like, you can cover them up. You can layer things to try to cover up mistakes. And so that's what I did for this card, and I just layered up the 2. And then I also put Winkestella all over my hands because whenever I work with these little bricks, this is called the brick. Here, I have the 3 embossing folders I used. Gingham was the one I used for this. Little background there, inside there. Gingham. And this Hive 3D embossing folder is the one I'm going to demonstrate because it goes really well with this kit. But this one, the one I'm showing you now, is called the Brick and Mortar 3D embossing folder. And then when I work with the bricks, whenever I work with the bricks, it's been around for a couple years now, I just take Winkestella, put it all over my hands, and just rub it all over the bricks. So you can see that the bricks are shiny, and it really brings out the dimension of the bricks. And I also ended up putting Winkestella all over the flowers as well. And so I really like how that Mossy Meadow background came out. And this card is so simple. It's just Night of Navy. It's a neutral color, Mossy Meadow. That's it. And, of course, crushed cherry and soft suede for the flowers. But nothing fancy, but it's just so simple, but it's fun. And then I have this piece here that I want to show you how to get from this to this. Now, look at this piece. This just came right out of the back. Let's go back to this in case some of you are late, because I see a lot of you came in later. No such thing as late because you just watched the video again, right? Everything's on YouTube forever. Well, hopefully forever. All right, let's find the back of that card I was telling you about. Not that one. This one, okay? The back of this card, I said, wow, what a beautiful card and the beautiful back of the card. So I cut the cards apart, And here's a piece of the card I cut apart. And then I just embossed it. And look at the difference when you emboss it. So you already have a gorgeous background, and then you make it even more gorgeous by embossing it. And then you rub Wink of Stella all over it, and you have like shiny bricks. And then you have people saying, well, how'd you do that, right? How'd you do it? You transform paper. So it's really fun. And I put Wink of Stella on this flower as well. So that is one way to do it. And that's just, these are little elements from the kit. This little piece of Blackberry Bliss. I used opal rounds. I love opal rounds. And another one of the brick ones, because I did 3 with the bricks, is this one. And it's just using that 3D flower, or the flower again, the flower background with this little popped up dimensionals there. And that little piece there, that's piece is popped up. Little, for a one-of-a-kind friend. All right. Now, before I show you my Hive 3D cards, I just thought that one went really well with this. I want to show you with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine how to emboss something. So simple. I might need to raise my camera up a little bit. So before I raise my camera up, I'll say hi to you guys, or some of you guys, and we'll see before it gets too high where I can't see your names. Hello, Susan. Good morning. I'm showing you the bigger embossing machine. So it's called the Stamp, Cut, and Emboss machine. Hello, Diana. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's just the only reason my voice is like this is because I filmed a course, and I had to refilm a lot of parts at the end from some mistakes I had made earlier in the footage. And so I did a lot of recording, and I lost my voice. But we'll have to figure out some ways to gargle or something to protect my voice next time. Hello, Lala's Crafts. Hello, Yvonne. Thank you. I know it. Aren't they gorgeous, the envelopes? Thank you, Lisa. Well, I'll show you the box. I'll show you the bees, I mean. Oh, the bees are so cute, right? Hi, Ginger Snap. I'll show you guys the inside of that box in a little bit. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I know, right? So when I know a kit, I always get 2 of each kit. Even I never really got disappointed in the kits, not in the last year or 2. Or maybe a few years ago I got disappointed with some home decor kits, but my paper pumpkin kits never disappoint because I take all the parts and I stretch them out and I do so much with them. Plus, the creativity and the crafty mojo that it infuses into me each month is worth the kit right there, because we need variety to stimulate ourselves and our creativity. And it helps me, like if I have other supplies that I'm not using that much of, this sometimes gets me to use other supplies because of the way I can use them together. So I really love this kit. So yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you like the stencil idea, Yvonne. And hi, Lisa. I'm glad you like that too. And hi, Barbara. All right, and hello, Karen. All right, let's see this technique now. We're going to do this. We're going to put this is a sandwich. So I opened up, I don't know if you saw this. Okay. See this? I opened up the back and the front. Okay, because it collapses. Now I'm going to take the sandwich, which is platform 1. It's the base plate. I'm going to take, I'm going to use a 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to take, I don't need this, the stuff I use for die cutting. I don't need any of these cutting 3s. All I need for the 3D embossing folder, can you see that, is this. I need the 4, I need the base plate, which is 1, and I need the 4. 4 is this embossing plate. So this is the only thing I need in my sandwich. It's very simple. Simple sandwich, okay? Now, I got to put the embossing folder inside there. So you take it out of the package. It's in plastic. Take it out. It's a 3D embossing folder. So look at the size of a 3D embossing folder. Make sure you have the right sandwich. And make sure it says 3D if you use the 3D. Because look, when they're not 3D, you could squish it in there. Like if you put this through, nothing will happen because this is not a 3D embossing folder, but this one is. So the Hive 3D embossing folder is super cool. You could deboss it or emboss it, depending on how you put the paper down. I'm gonna put the Stampin' Up face up, and I'm gonna put the paper face down. The paper that I saved for you. Okay, here it is. This is the piece. I'm gonna put it down. I'm going to face it down. So Stampin' Up is up. The logo's up. I'm going to put see how this goes? It would look like a hive more if I do it the right side. If I put this right side up, it'll look like a hive, like deboss. But I'm going to make it like this so that it's all puffy like bubbles. So I'm going to put the paper down, the pattern, and I'm going to put this on top. Okay, so watch this. Watch how this paper transforms. I just love this. I love embossing. It just like does so much to your card for your cards, card making. And we have a lot of free embossing folders right now, like until August 31st. You don't even have to pay for like the whole price of the embossing folder because I don't know which ones, but a couple of them are free in the celebration special. I think it's Timber 3D, maybe something else. But look at that. Totally transformed. So I put the paper down and that's what it comes up like that. And now if I were to put, let's do this one. I'll do this one the other way. The one that we colored. So watch the difference. I'm going to put this paper up. So the Stampin' Up logo is facing me, okay? So this is looks more like a beehive when you do it this way because it like debosses. It goes into the grooves. And then I'm going to show you the cards I made, the finished cards. Let's move that out of the way. All right, getting that out of the way. And you can see how that came out. So you can completely transform your paper by that little bit, and then your cards are just taken to the whole next level. And now if you're using this other so that was for the 3D embossing folder, that was the sandwich, like so. But if you're doing a gingham embossing folder that is not a 3D embossing folder, your sandwich will be, and there's a little picture there, base plate, right? One of these plastic plates, your little gingham folder, and another one of the plastic plates. Okay, the only time you need number 2 is for thin metal dies. All right, so that's how I did my embossing. So let me get back. Let me lower my camera again and get back to the cards I was showing you. Little wonky. There we go. Here are the ones I created using the Hive 3D embossing folder. So you could see that for this card is using this technique where I put it through the embossing folder straight up with the Stampin' Up logo facing me. I embossed the background that way, and then the inside, however, is the opposite. The inside of this card, I embossed it with the other direction. So that was a piece of the envelope. And then I did lots of Wink of Stella, and actually I spilled Wink of Stella on this card because I got glitter everywhere, but it came out kind of cool. This one, I used this method where I embossed it face down. Probably turned the paper like that. And then I just, oh, actually, this is the piece that had the flower on it. So it was the front of one of the cards, whereas this was the back of that same card. Okay, extra little pieces up there. You can see how I make little banners out of the extra pieces of envelope and stuff. Hi, Linda. How you doing? Linda's here from ScanNCut and Create. Check out her channel if you are just seeing her jump in there. She's on my team. Hello, Connie. Good morning. Okay, and here is another one where I did this way, face down embossing. So like you get the puffy, and I really like it better, like puffed up like that. So the Hive embossing folder really goes well with this kit. So you could take it to the next level. Now this time, I was going for a fall look, so I changed my color scheme. All those colors I told you about, all those colors. There was already 8 colors, but I took the colors. I didn't use any of these pieces like this with the melon marble, and instead I just decided to go with the Mossy Meadow, this one, crushed curry, and I put a piece of Cajun Craze behind there for a fall look. Cajun Craze, just punched out cardstock using this. Okay, so that's how I did that one. So I went for the just completely different color scheme with the fall look. All right, we still have a couple 3D projects to show you. And I just want to grab an envelope and cut it up, if I may. Okay, I have pieces. Or maybe I already have a piece. Oh, good, I do have one more. I have one more full hot. This is what our little bag looks like of our free gift. Aren't they cool? We got like 6 or 8 of these for free in our kit. And these are the vellum ones I was telling you that I colored. These are the little vellum pieces. I still have a lot of those because I tend to use the gold ones. I'm just trying to find a piece of the envelope to use for this little thing I want to show you. I'll just cut up an envelope. So you might be saying, oh, they're too pretty to cut up. Well, it's okay. Just go for it. Cut them up. Now, you can use any rectangle for this little thing I'm about to show you, but in this case, I used a rectangle that was just like 4 3, let's see, 4 3/4. So I think I cut a 1/4 inch off each side. Let's see. I think it was about 4 3/4. Okay, so I cut the paper, and then I went and I made it 4 3/4. That was 4 3/4, and then I made it by 3 3/4. And then I saved these little pieces here for making little, like 1-inch pieces here for my Hershey nuggets. Whenever I was cutting up my envelopes, I just said, okay, well, I'll save these for Hershey nugget, wrap the Hershey nuggets in. All right, I know I didn't get this all yet. Okay, let's see, 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Oops, we already did that side. 4 3/4. It must be this side I'm doing, 3 3/4. All right, so bottom line is it doesn't matter really what size you make this, as long as you have a rectangle, okay? So what I want to show you is what I call a sour cream container. And I'm using this other one instead of my snail because it's very thin. It's a different kind of adhesive. It's an ATG glider because I need little thin pieces of adhesive. And my seal, not my snail, my seal was kind of thick for this little guy. All right, so you want to put the adhesive on a U shape like that. Okay, so you're using any size rectangle, but mine was 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And you get the little U shape, and you just roll it like a toilet paper roll. This little piece, the adhesive's on the U shape, right? Then you turn it sideways, and you make like a toilet paper roll, just like that. And you're just sealing the adhesive, okay? So you had adhesive on the one side. Okay, now you still have adhesive in there, so don't seal the top. Just squeeze the bottom, whatever you want to be the bottom. I guess we'll make this side the bottom. Okay, we're gonna make this side the bottom. Squeeze it, and these, because I'm gonna put candy in them, you have to staple them, because when you don't staple them, they do pop open. I mean, my ATG is pretty good with the adhesive, and so is Seal Plus, but they both still pop open when you put candy in them. So I staple them a little because it's just, they're going to be ripping them open anyway. Put a little bit of jelly beans in there. I got a spoon this time, so I just reach, because otherwise they keep getting stuck on the adhesive. So you put about that many, about halfway, because you need to be able to shake them, because these are like little shaker things. So you could call them shaker treats, but I call them sour cream containers, because this is what, when you went to, like, when I was little and you went to, I don't know if they have these around anymore. I used to work at like a Sizzler, but this is like, there's a Rustler Steakhouse, and they used to give you little sour cream containers at the steakhouse. And some little stores you go into and you get sour cream to go, and like they give you a little sour cream container that looks like that. Did you see how I just did that? So the one side I sealed it where it was the seam, and then I just twisted it a little. I didn't twist it, but I just put the treats in it. And then I just stapled it on the other side. And that's how you make the little sour cream container. And then you take your little things from your kit, little extra things that are fun. And you might do something like, let's see. I'm just seeing what's around. Whatever is around that I can use. So because I want to craft a little bit. I usually always make something in these videos. Spontaneous crafting, I call it. All right, so you just put that little piece on there, like that, and then you put your little sentiment on it. Okay, so that's how to make this treat here that I made. So here are 2 of these already made, and I just used the little stitched. These are called stitched stylish shapes. Yeah, so sour cream containers, yeah, Linda, they're so easy. And at Halloween, you put like candy corns inside. And I really don't worry about stapling them with kids because they totally rip them open right away anyway. And kids love the candy corns inside, like that kind of thing. So it's really fun. Or adults, mostly adults now. Because kids, I tend to like, because you can't really give kids candy that much anymore unless you're at like a candy, like a trunk or treat type of thing. And you have to give kids sealed candy, right? Or the parents might not know who they got it from and they might throw it away, blah, blah, blah. It's not like the olden days where, we go down the street with a big old pillowcase and go trick-or-treating, come back with a pillowcase full of candy. Now every time you give kids candy, they want it all sealed and everything. So I would give these to adults, in other words, but with candy corns inside for Halloween. They're a great Halloween treat. Okay, let me see where I was at. I think I have one box left, and then I can open up the kit, and then we're done. Okay, so this box here is just created. We're using 7/8 of an inch sides. I just used a card. I just took one of the cards, cut it up, and used 7/8 of an inch. When you cut the card and you make the bottom, if you missed how to make boxes yesterday on YouTube, I did this box making tutorial with my Texture Chic or Season of Chic workshop series, part 6. So I'm up to part 6 of the series. We'll probably go into September because of my September workshop supplies are not in yet. But anywho, I'm doing a Season of Chic workshop, and I just taught you how to make this box. So if you don't know how to make boxes, this is a shaker box, but that's the same process of making this box. We won't make the box again, but you could just see what's in the box. So if you take the card and you take the front of the card and the back of the card, make the bottom slightly smaller, then this will fit perfectly. Wait for it, a gift card. And it's a used gift card, but I'm using it as a sample because my mom, for her 90th birthday, she got, because she sews all the time. She got like Joanne gift cards, and I helped her use them, and Hobby Lobby gift cards and things like that. So I just saved them just to show, like, as a sample as to how big to make something. And I wrapped the Hershey Nuggets and I stamped the little bee from the kit onto here, and I wrapped the Hershey Nuggets using the pieces of cards and envelopes, and you could fit 4 Hershey Nuggets. You could actually fit 5 in there. Or you could fit a 5th one in there. Oops, got a hair in there. Sometimes my hair gets on things, even though it's in a ponytail holder. Okay, and there you go, and put that on top. Oops, nope, 4 is good, because it's a little puffy. And that's all there is to it, and now let's open up. In conclusion, I'm going to open up a full paper pumpkin kit. So, if you subscribe by the 10th of the month, you will get next month's kit. You're going to get September kit, which is about Halloween treats. And this kit is no longer like a kit that you can get, because the whole point of a subscription like this is that it's a surprise. So I love the surprise element, and some of my crafty friends don't. So if you don't like surprise elements, if you don't like the element of surprise, then we have a kits collection on my website at my Stampin' Up store where you can know what's in every single kit. So in addition to paper pumpkin kits, there's something called a kits collection where you can know everything, all the things before you buy kits. But paper pumpkin, it's a subscription and you don't know what you're getting. So it says here, make the most of your free gift. And it talks about, some ideas on how to use this foil. Gold foil honeycomb sheets. It tells you about how to use these sheets. When you flip over, it's giving us a sneak peek of what the September kit will look like. Or no, it's saying the next few kits will look like. Look, it's showing you the box. It's saying holiday crafting is coming to town. So it's saying if you get a 3-month paper pumpkin subscription, which would be cool because you could get a free celebration item if you do that, then you get this one coming up in the Halloween kit, and then you're going to get 2 coordinating holiday kits. One's going to be tags. I think they said that, and one's cards. So that's going to be the next 3 kits coming up. And if you're already one of my subscribers, one really cool thing to do is to get something called a prepaid yearly annual subscription, because if you do that before the end of August, which is what I do every time there's a celebration, is you get all the free celebration items when you buy your prepaid paper pumpkin subscription. Plus, you get a free month free when you buy it as a year. I do that on my websites. Like I sign up, because I do a lot of video editing, I have like different subscriptions for software. And I have to buy a lot of subscriptions to do all the work I do with videos and all the things I do. So I always pay like annual fees for things to save money. So I think it's a good idea too for a paper pumpkin subscription to pay it biannually. If you can afford it, then you get it, you save, like you get a free month free. Then because it's celebrations going on, for every $50 you spend, you get a free item to pick out. So you'd have like four free items or something like that. 5, maybe 5. I forget how much an annual subscription is. All right, so here's what comes in the kit. You get the 2 Stampin' spots this month, but you saw that I like to use the bigger Stampin' pads. So we get crushed curry and soft suede. You get little mini dimensionals. Can you see those? You get little dots, glue dots. You get an exclusive stamp set, and you saw what we can do with this with the ScanNCut. Be sure not to stamp in crushed curry when you're scanning, because when you're scanning, you need to stamp in the soft suede or something that will contrast with the scanner. Already in my ScanNCut user group, which if it's not linked below, I'll link it below. The ScanNCut user group, some people have already cut out these other leaves. After my video, they've already done some of these and some of these. Now, these I didn't cut out, but you saw how I used them for stamping the card background, so they're really fun. Okay, and then this is what's in the kit. And you already saw these, but showing you again. Okay, there's the 9 envelopes. Like, they're the same, right? 9 envelopes. Okay, here are those little things that are just gorgeous, that are for the card background. So if you haven't opened your kit yet, you got to open your kit and just start using it. It's amazing. We get a few extras of these, even though you can make 9 cards, 8, 16, 24. You can make 24 cards with these little pieces. And I did mess up a couple. So it's nice to, in case you mess up a couple. So this is what I stamped the thank you on. It looks like I used all this ink, but I liked how it was already. These are laser cut for us. And then these gorgeous cards. And these are pretty good quality. Compared to the normal cards that come in a Paper Pumpkin kit, these I think were thicker cardstock, because it's almost like watercolor paper was used to hold on to the ink. Mine isn't open yet. Uh-oh. Linda, I know I still owe you something from the other kit that other time. I didn't forget about you. But you can see I haven't finished my, what is it, July or... No, this is August. I haven't finished my July or maybe it's June kit yet. I'm behind in a couple kits, but this one I opened up and started playing with right away. Thank you, Pat. I'm glad you like these. And hello. Okay, and then there was the 3. This was the one I made the box out of. You see this one? I made the box out of this card. But I didn't want to waste the back of this for the bottom of the box, so I just used white cardstock for the bottom of the box. And the 3 Mossy Meadows, and you saw how I cut those up. And then in addition to, so I have a lot of extra bees left there because they gave us a lot of extra bees, but in addition to the ones I cut out with the ScanNCut, they gave us a few little pieces to stamp right onto, which were smaller than the ones I made. So here's the difference. The one that they gave us doesn't give a little outline distance, which is still cute because you're stamping right onto a textured piece of paper, which I love. The ones I cut out, the shape of, I was able to get that extra distance, and they made bigger sunflowers. And I scanned them in with soft suede so that they, oh, I kind of like that after it got all wet with the Wink of Stuff. This is the one I spilled glitter all over. I think this messed up card is becoming my favorite, although the brick was my favorite before this. Anywho, that's the end. Oh, that's not the end. There's also these little pieces like that. So that was what the contents of a kit look like, although the kits are always different. And in my newsletter, it's at my Stampin' Up store. You can sign up for my newsletter. I always give you like a sneak peek of the next kit and how many treats you'll get and what kind of colors are in the kit. And that's all they tell us. They just tell us the name of the kit. They might show us the box. They might show us 1 or 2 little things from it, but we don't know what's going to be inside until we get it. And that's the fun of it. And you can see how creative you can be, and you can see how fun it is just to create the items just as they are, right straight out of the box, because that's fun too. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the 22 projects that you can create using this kit. And I hope you will give this a try with your kit. Thank you, Denise. And I appreciate all your comments. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. We'll see you again real soon.